Good afternoon and welcome. I do apologize for the last late start of our show this afternoon. This afternoon I have a young man in the studio with me, a politician. He hails from the IJAW region of Nigeria, and of course he is the president of the IJAW Youth Council of Nigeria. He's none other than Mr. Comrade, as they call you, sir. Comrade Udengs Eradiri. You're very welcome.
Thank you.
How are you,
Good
sir?
afternoon, viewers. I'm fine.
Good. The telephone number, as usual, is 0208-808-0693. So get ready and call in. Sir, congratulations. You assumed the office of presidency last November.
Yeah, thank you very much.
And tell us a little bit about, what the IJAW Youth Council is all about.
Well, the IJAW Youth Council is the umbrella body for all youths of IJAW extraction. And in the Nigerian states, we have the IJAWs predominantly in 6 states of the Niger Delta: Akwa Ibom State, Rivers State, Bayelsa, Delta, Edo, and Ondo states. And the IYC is classified into zones, 3 zones. We have the Eastern Zone, the Western Zone, and the Central Zone. The East, we have Akwa Ibom and Rivers State, the Central, Bayelsa, and parts of Rivers State. Then the Western Zones, we have Edo, Ondo, and Delta states. We also have the UK chapter, we have the North America chapter, and in recent times, we just set up the South African chapter. We also have a chapter in Lagos and as well as in Abuja. Now, the essence of these chapters are to be able to coordinate the activities of our people in order for us to have that reach out and protect them when the need arises. The IYC generally, in recent times, as the world knows, have been in the forefront for agitation for justice in the Niger Delta. The IYC have been the umbrella that have engaged government and engaged institutions on behalf of the Niger Delta people. And the activities of the IYC led to all the things that have been happening in Nigeria, and eventually the political scenario in Nigeria decided to say, let us consider a Niger Delta for president. And so for us, the IYC take ownership of the President Goodluck Jonathan presidency as president of Nigeria, because it was the activities of the Niger Delta youths, especially the IJAW extraction, that have led to a lot of changes in that region. Okay. First of all, politically, we have advanced to the next level. The amnesty program that has seen over 30,000 young people from that region being trained in various skills, institutions, and vocational centers. And so, if you look at it, you cannot discuss Nigeria without the IJAW Youth Council. You cannot discuss Nigeria without Niger Delta, without oil, and all these are under the purview of the IJAW Youth Council.
I hope that we'll have enough time this afternoon to go through, because there are so many areas that you've just mentioned there which we really need to touch on. But you mentioned about the fact that the IJAW Youth Council takes ownership of the presidency.
Yes.
Now, the presidency is something that is very hot at the moment in Nigeria. Nigerians, there are those who are calling for the immediate resignation of Mr. President. There are, I can't begin to go into it. How do you, who take ownership of the presidency, feel about A, what Nigerians call the failures of Mr. President, and B, what appears to be his inactivity?
Well, first of all, I want to say that we are proud as IJAW people to produce the best president that Nigeria has ever had.
Okay.
I say this because if you look at the history of our country, this is the first president that has been democratic. He is, in fact, democratic to a fault. That's why you see all these issues, people talking every day. Nigerians and Africans are not used to democracy. That's why you see what happened in Egypt. Look at all African nations. They are all used to military dictatorship. So when you introduce democracy, you begin to see people revolting at various levels. For the case of Nigeria, it is the same thing that is happening everywhere in the world. This is the first time when we are having a democratic president. Where would you have heard that you declare a state of emergency and still respect the democratic institutions?
Okay.
No, I'm coming.
Oh.
Goodluck's government can only be likened to Gowon's government when there was a civil war in Nigeria. Even at that, the government could not succeed in a lot of areas because they hinged it on the civil war. But what is happening in Nigeria today is even worse than that time. But yet, in the area of power, the president is the first president that has broken the grounds that no other president has ever done.
But Nigerians will say that we still don't have power.
My sister, it's a process. Power, you know, the investment in power. It takes time. It takes years. To build a dam takes nothing less than 7 years.
But then why then does Mr. President make the statements that you will have power in 6 months or you have power by so days?
Because let me tell you, you set a program and then you expect that this program will terminate at XYZ. But there are factors in Nigeria that will not allow it to operate. Where, in which society will you see sane human beings go and be cutting off power lines to sell them? Where do you see them? Where will you see human beings go and destroy pipelines that will carry gas to supply these power turbines? You see, our society is not a sane society. So if you look at it from what you experience here, it's not the same thing there. Human beings will go and be destroying pipelines that are meant to give them power. Now, because there are cartels who supply generators to the country, they pay these hoodlums to go and be destroying and sabotaging the efforts of the president. The truth is, when you set a program, you know that it will end at this point. But when these factors begin, you will not be able to control them. But like I tell you, this president has succeeded in the area of power. There is a lot of investment that are going on. Jobs are being created through the process. Because a lot of, and then this local content law that the president has put in place, I've seen young Nigerians getting involved in those investments and creating jobs. In the area of road construction, go to Nigeria today. You'll be amazed at the level of road construction that Goodluck has embarked upon. No other president has been able to achieve that feat. Look at our airports. It used to be an embarrassment. I'm sure you would have visited Nigeria in recent times. You go to the airport, you see the tremendous change in less than 3 years. We are looking at the time frame. Other presidents took 10, 15, 8 years. But look at it, 3 years. The president has achieved in the area of education. What is happening in the north is that these people are revolting. The elite class are revolting because they feel that the emergency schools that the president has put in place very soon will no longer allow them have young people that they will be sending to go and be blowing bombs and things like that.
Okay.
The schools are mopping up the young people. So educationally, Nigeria is making progress. Economically, you just said that looking at the indices, Nigeria have just overtaken South Africa. That is because in the area of the oil sector, the local content law that was put in place, I've seen very young Nigerians taking over the oil sectors. Shell and the rest are leaving the country for Nigerians who are taking over these jobs.
Okay.
Today, Saipem can no longer fabricate in Nigeria. Why? Because they have said that you cannot bring in pipes from outside. You must ensure that it is locally manufactured. And so a lot of young Nigerians are putting themselves together, taking advantage, creating jobs, and then stimulating the economy. So if you look at it in the area of railways, you can see that when did we last have a railway in Nigeria? The president is in the heat of the crisis in Nigeria is making a lot of progress. Sports, for instance. This is the president who, in recent times, won virtually all international outings that Nigeria went for. So, what are we talking about?
Okay.
We can go on and on.
We can go on and on indeed. You have touched on so many areas, and again, we have a lot to discuss. Do bear with me. You're listening to the president of the IJAW Youth Council. I don't know if you heard there his first response to my first question. The number is 0208-808-0693. Do call in and ask your questions directly to him. And, you know, if you agree or disagree with whatever he has to share with us this afternoon. Now, as I said there, you touched on so many. But let me just pick you on one area that actually, you know, falls in line with a statement that you yourself made recently. Yeah. Recently, you requested of the government, if you can confirm that to be true, that they should legalize oil bunkering and also allow the bush refineries to exist.
Yes.
Did you first of all make that statement?
Yes, in fact, we are working on a policy.
Now, in relation to the fact that you're saying, how can human beings, you know, be cutting up pipelines, destroying pipelines, how can you then justify the request for bush refinery and oil bunkering to be legal?
Now, maybe the way we put it is not. I would have said that we have been doing something for 50 years. We are not making progress.
Okay.
JTF, the military authority.
Hold on that for me, because we're going to come to this question. I have Adam on the line. Hello, Adam. Welcome to the program.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Adam. Welcome to the program.
Thank you. Good afternoon. Yeah.
And what is your question, please, or a contribution?
Well, it's not really a question. No, it's, what I just want to say is to support what your guest is saying, that Jonathan has done very well.
Okay.
And that is the truth. Jonathan is considering the obstacles that are placed before him, considering the decades of infrastructure in Nigeria that he inherited, considering the mess, and considering everything he has now done, we should give kudos to Jonathan. If I were to score Jonathan's achievement, I would score him 80%. That's the truth. I don't come from Niger Delta. As a matter of fact, I come from the middle belt. Okay. But that is the truth. The man has done very well. So and the present obstacle of Boko Haram, to be candid, I think the Boko Haram was formed to stop Jonathan from the presidency. And the thing is getting worse, and the reason why it's getting worse is that they want to stop him from contesting again. Okay. But I would advise him, he should take courage and contest for a second time. He's entitled to it. But more importantly, he's been doing very well for Nigeria. History will record his achievements with a lot of smiles for him. Okay. Thank you.
So, Adam, please stay with me for a moment. What do you say to Nigerians that are saying that he must resign because he is such a weak president? What do you say to that, Adam?
You mean that he must resign?
A lot of Nigerians are calling that, Mr. President must resign. He's not fit for office. What do you say to them?
No, first of all, when you say a lot, I don't know what you mean by a lot. Okay. Look, the best president on earth, the best pastor on earth, the best imam on earth, the best vice chancellor of a university on earth, you will see people who will say, look, can you please let him resign? Jonathan is doing very well. So the question of some people saying that he should resign, ignore it completely. The vast majority of Nigerians want Jonathan to stay there and to continue his good work. And as I said before, I'm from the Middle Belt. I'm not from Niger Delta, just trying to support Jonathan because he's from my zone. No, I'm from the Middle Belt part of the country. And I'm old enough to see what has been happening to Nigeria. I mean, I'm 70 years old. I know what has been happening.
Oh, let me take this. Adam. I don't want us to lose track. Let's halt on that. Can we just rewind back to the oil bunkering legalization and, of course, the pipe?
I would take that. That. It's very key to me, but let me just address this. Well, first of all, I want to, on behalf of the IJAW people and Niger Delta people, join the call for Boko Haram to release the over 200 girls that they are holding. Let me tell you, they were playing politics with it, but it won't work. Good luck is contesting for the next 10.
He hasn't told us
and he will win. He will win. Forget all the stories that they are saying. Let me also warn that the Northerners who are playing politics with Boko Haram, they have succeeded in destroying the economy of the North. Look, when we talk about resource control, we didn't say that we want to control our. We are saying that Nigerians should come to the table. Let us see how we can harness the agricultural potentials of the North to create wealth for the country.
Resource control, because indeed there's another statement to that effect that the IJAW Council also made. So let's rewind.
Yeah, I'm going back. I'm just going back.
So let's go back to the oil bunkering.
Yeah, the oil issue. I've said that it is our environment.
The legalization.
Now, what has been happening over the 50 years is that the governments of Nigeria have been involved in the bunkering. Who are the people who do the bunkering? The people in Abuja. The people who are the politicians. The international society. They have a lot of members of the IOCs are the ones that are funding the bunkering. If not, let me come. Excuse me. How do our people get vessels? Our people are poor. They are just errand boys who they come and give them peanuts. Don't forget that they have destroyed the environment. There is no more life for the people to live. It is a quest for survival of our people that is getting them involved in what is happening. Now, what we are saying is, if for 50 years we have been doing this thing the same way and we are not making results, isn't it common sense to do it a different way? In South America, they are legalizing marijuana. Today in America, over 9 states have legalized it, and they are seeing the foreign exchange that it has brought to the nation. Now, let me tell you, what we are saying is, set some form of control in a situation where our people will be grouped, then NNPC will come in, we will save the environment, we will create wealth for the state, we will create jobs for the people, and then we'll be able to grow their technology by bringing in modular refining. If you watch CCTV, the Chinese channel, it shows you how from crude technology they develop themselves to where it is. We used to use the same technology to cook ogogoro. Today it was criminalized, Now we are going to buy Hennessy and all this gin from outside, when we should have developed it, created wealth, and today that region would have been rich in producing spirits, the best of spirits in the world. Okay. So we hold tenaciously to our belief that this oil theft or bunkering or whatever they call it, it is our oil. We are not happy about what is happening in our environment. Therefore, we have said, what you are doing, government will release money, it won't get to soldiers. Soldiers are paying so much money to come and serve in the Niger Delta because when they serve 6 months, they build hotels, buy cars and all that. Yet, they will be refusing to go to the north to keep peace in the nation. Why are they coming to the south? Because there's money to be made. So it's not even the communities. It is connivance from the authorities. These politicians are the ones who bring the big vessels. So we as the community people have said, in order for us to save our environment, you must set some form of regulation, so that we can be able to weed out the criminals from those who are ready to work hard. We also propose that do not give generators to communities. Tie the community power system to their pipelines. So if you break a pipeline, then you will not have light in the community. By so doing, you will see the community people waking up to protect the pipelines because their interest is involved, especially when you legalize it. NNPC will be dealing with them. So those residues they point to the environment, they will come and buy them back and then further refine it for more products.
Okay.
But what is happening is that there's connivance and complicity from all sectors.
We're still going to come back to this point. We're not through yet, but I have Mr. Shitu on the line. Do I have Mr. Shitu on the line? Hello?
Hello?
Hi, do I have a Mr. Shitu?
Yes, that's right.
Hello, sir. Where are you calling from, please?
I'm calling from London.
Okay, sir. And what is your contribution or question this afternoon?
Well, I would just like to add to this afternoon discussion that Mr. President is doing a fantastic job in Nigeria. I'm a Nigerian from Kwara State, but what the president is doing, from my experience, I think no president in Nigeria has ever been able to achieve that. His record is unparalleled. It's only the people who envy him, want him to step down so that they bring Nigeria back into what it was many years ago. I really support every Nigerian or majority of Nigerians to vote for him again. He's one of the best that this country could ever have. His name, Good Luck, is not for fun. He is brought to save Nigeria. That's all my contribution. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Mr. Shitu. Comrade, we're back. Now, earlier on, I asked you the question about the legalization and the pipelines.
Yes.
And you made mention, as you were responding, that, it is the international community, the IOC, and, our people do not have what it takes to be the ones looting or bunkering, as it were.
Yeah.
They are just errand boys. Now, if they are just errand boys, how then, when you legalize the bunkering, are you not then saying it's okay for the international community, as you described, to continue with the bunkering?
No.
How will it work in favor of the people?
When I said you legalize it, now you cut off the thieves that are coming from external. It now becomes a process driven by NNPC, the Nigerian government.
All right.
So the essence of it is that we want to save the environment, create jobs, and increase revenue for the state.
Okay.
You see it? So then it will be controlled by the NNPC, bringing in modular refining, try to build the capacity of the people group by group, and then you also expose and build the communities. So if you look at it, the gains are so much. You save the environment, create jobs for young people, revenue for government, and of course, industrialize the environment. Okay. Right now, all these are missing. They are killing the environment, stealing the oil. Nigeria is not making anything out of it, and then turning our boys to criminals who are arming themselves. Let me tell you, anytime soldiers go there. Maybe there's a new commander. He wants to show off and then says, I'll go and wipe them out. These boys arm themselves and resist them because they say, something when you said the thief, why do you want to call us saying that we be the thief? And then they begin to arm themselves and confront them. That's the confrontation you hear every day on the pages of newspaper.
Okay.
But as I speak to you, they are in pari passu doing the business with the security agencies. And let me tell you on the part of the IOCs. Look, they have contractors that maintain pipelines. If you break one hole on the pipeline, it's 7.5 million to replace it. So it means that if you bust 10 holes, it is 75 million. And these companies that are doing this contracting work are mostly owned by directors in the IOCs. And so they will pay the community first to break 100 holes to make the money 700 something million. I'm telling you, I am the president of the IJAW Youth Council. I don't put water in my mouth when I'm talking. It is becoming a problem to us. We cannot fish anymore. Of course, you know the story. No more fish, no more food. Our people are turning to criminals, hardened criminals every day because they have to look for means of survival. On IJAW, there was an interview that one of these journalists went to the creek. Can you imagine somebody who was stealing oil, as they say it, was on live TV saying, yes, I know we are stealing, but government is the bigger thief. Until they provide for us, we'll continue to steal. On international TV, it shows you the level of desperation the people have got into. It is a quest for survival. And more so, what is in my land? You cannot tell me how I should take it. Okay. Especially when you have not shown that you are responsible enough to manage the resources.
All right. Sylvester has been very patient. Sylvester, do I still have you on the line? Hi, do I still have Sylvester?
Yes.
Hi, Sylvester. Welcome. Thank you for being so patient. Where are you calling from, first of all, and what is your contribution?
Yeah, I'm calling from Sadwell Heat.
Okay.
I'm calling from Sadwell Heat.
And your contribution, sir, please.
Priscilla, and the gentleman over there, thank you very much. You see, I 100% agree with all what you say regarding the oil bunkery and everything. There are some secrets that we don't know there that the people are giving us, and they are giving us a fake news. But he's able to dip into the depth of the problem and is giving us what exactly happened regarding portion of pipe and everything. So I quite 100% agree with him. But on the issue of the president, you see, the president has been doing very well. But the problem is that when this president knows that there are some people against him, and there are some set of people that are frustrated. There are some set of people that they think Nigeria belongs to them. And by the power of the president, so that is where I agree with him. There are some decisions you take is between life and death. There are some decisions that you took that you take it, you don't look back. We all witnessed what happened with Obama and Ronaldo when he was taking the operation. So I need the president to put his foot down, against some people. If he's going to rule, put his foot down. We are behind him. Whatever they want to do, because they cannot kill all of us, and they cannot scare us. So let this man put his foot down in time of the security, in time of some personal people, which I don't want to mention their name, but everybody knows them. Because they are frustrated and they can't be in the power. The power doesn't restrict it to certain set of people. It's for every Nigerian. If Obama, which his father was president of America, can be a president of America, I wonder why anybody who is the full flesh of Nigeria cannot be a president if can do it. Thank you.
Thank you, Sylvester. Thank you so much for that. On what Sylvester has just said there, sir, this question comes to mind. Recently, during the presidential chat, Mr. President said, he only uses 40% of his powers. And, Sylvester, as a Nigerian citizen, I imagine it's also calling that he should use more of his powers. I mean, as you said to me earlier on, the president of the president is here. So tell me, how do you view that, the fact that he's using 40% of his powers?
I told you, first of all, that Nigerians are not used to democratic leadership. And this is a president that had no iota or relationship with any military style of leadership. He is a professor who had been an academician who had been in the university all his life and then tried to grow in the usual, normal way of politics. The others that have ruled Nigeria are people who came via one criminal means or the other. A coup is criminal. So we shouldn't even paint it. Anybody who took power by a coup was a criminal. He took power criminally. This man understands democracy, and that's why he has set up the national confab. Let Nigerians, look, the panacea to Nigeria's problem is that we are all ethnic nationalities must come to the table and agree on the principles for which we will continue to remain as one country. But unfortunately, look at what is happening in the national confab. It is now like the Northerners are coming to the confab as if it is them against other parts of Nigeria. No! We are saying that every ethnic nationality, look at the peculiarities of your place and come to the table and discuss and agree on the principles so that agreement, the president has said, will be the basis for which we move forward. It does not want to be seen. If the president says arrest this one now, they will say, hey, you are doing an ethnic. You know Nigerians, you know what they have been doing on the pages of newspaper. They kidnap our girls. Instead of us to be calling for full-fledged state of emergency in the north, because there's complicity on the part of politicians from the north in this matter. You let Senate playing around state of emergency.
But then
that should have allowed the military. I'm coming. There's a lot happening in Nigeria. That should have allowed the military go in there. But today, the military will say this. The leadership of the state will say something differently. And if you know the history of Nigeria, power have resided on one part of the country too much so that virtually every structure of governance, they are at the top. So the president's duty is to sign paper. Before this paper will move from this level to this level and this level, it must have gone through these same processes that have infiltrated leadership in the country. So how do you expect the president to wake up and say, stamp that arrest this man? Let me tell you, I'm making an accusation very clearly. Go to the north. In Adamawa State, Boko Haram is destroying all federal government schools. They will go kill children, they will go kidnap children, and yet some people own universities in the north. Even with minimal security, Boko Haram have never seen those places. Some people own mansions in Borno State. They have destroyed virtually every existing structure around Borno State. They have not touched those structures. These are individuals who make so much money in the country. Nobody talks about it. The opposition don't see those things. All they are after is that crucify the president. Crucify the president. My sister, the day the president says, look at the first subsidy. Where did they get the money to be developing all these achievements in agriculture, in road, railway, airports? Airports now you can fly into Nigeria and you'll be proud of your airport. It wasn't like this. The same fuel that the president said, let us put subsidy in order for us to use those funds. Let us remove the subsidy so that we can use those funds to build the country. These same people who said the president is not using his powers, I said we will kill this president. And you saw the economic loss to Nigeria. But today what happened? The man put his foot on the ground. They almost tore the country apart. Today they are benefiting. Flying into Nigeria, enjoying the airport, driving from one part of the country to the other. Institutions. They are building over 300 emergency schools in the north. Just 2 weeks ago, Maritime University and the first Maritime University groundbreaking ceremony was commissioned by the president in the Niger Delta, including a shipbuilding yard. All this to create jobs for the country. But Nigeria fought it in the first place.
Okay. Now, we don't have time. I have Taiwo on the line, so let me take Taiwo, and then, we will continue this conversation. Taiwo.
Hello, good afternoon.
Hello, good evening. Do I have Taiwo on the, good afternoon. Do I have Taiwo on the line?
Yes, please. Taiwo is on the line. Good
Hi,
afternoon.
Taiwo. Welcome to the program. Where are you calling from and what's your contribution, please?
I'm calling from London.
Okay, sir. What's your contribution, please?
Right. First of all, I would like to say a very big welcome to Udengs Eradiri.
Thank you.
I saw your comments during the inauguration of the laying of the new university you mentioned, Maritime. You are very passionate, without a shadow of a doubt. And I know that you do know what you're talking about. Nevertheless, there's one thing I want to put forward. Someone like you that is very passionate, you want things to be done right. One thing about Nigerians is this, and this has been going on over the years. When somebody gets to power, they say power, absolute power corrupts absolutely. When they get to power, they try to use that power to do whatever they like. They offend the law. They don't believe in the law anymore. They don't believe in the judiciary. They do whatever they like. Now, over the years, the oil companies in Nigeria, they've said that they try to develop the Niger Delta. The money were given to the so-called chiefs, that they will do the development, and nothing has come out of it. I want you to say something about that, please. Let people know whether it's the truth that they actually expended money for the development of the area.
Thank you, Taiwo.
Well, that's not correct. Let me just educate you. You see, when the IOCs initially came to the region to do business, they signed joint venture agreements with the government of Nigeria, believing that government duty was to take care of the environment, provide infrastructure and all that. And so in the business, that was how the sharing formula was done. But when the reality started, government saw too much money and then reneged on their part of the agreement. So the communities, seeing these oil companies every day, decided to vent their anger on those that they can reach. But if you look at the agreement did not include the IOCs carrying out community responsibilities, social responsibilities for the community. And so going forward, the conflict grew. Today, in the National Assembly, there is the PIB. The PIB was meant to cater for some of these issues, where 10% was meant for community participation in the oil sector. But the politicians have refused to allow it see the light of the day, because they believe that, oh, this Niger Delta region will make too much money. When the companies say they give money to chiefs, it is not correct. What do? They come and do divide and rule when they want to come and work, because there's nowhere in the law that allows them to give money to the chiefs or the communities for development. But in recent times, because of the conflict and the crisis, some of these companies decided to come up with their own model, just like SPDC started doing. Shell started the GMOU, which Chevron and other companies are also implementing in the communities, where they say, okay, for this year, we want to put this sum of money in a pool. And that money will be managed by, a trust, picking members of the community, all groups of the community are part of that trust to manage the money. The money now, the community decides for every year what they want to do with the money. That model actually worked very well and has been working, even though they have some teething problems. But so far so good. The GMOU process that they brought in place is a process that was used to cushion some of these effects. But the truth is, the PIB, if passed, will see communities having a stake in the business. So this issue of giving money to chiefs, those are divide and rule tendencies of that have created so much conflict in our communities, and we have said no to it. The GMOU process that they put in place actually worked, because then the communities take ownership of their development in the community. So this year you decide that you want to train 20 community children, then you spend the money, send them to school. If you want to build a road, the community decide and agree.
Okay.
But that measure was just like a fire brigade approach, because government wasn't responsible for its responsibilities. Okay. And so going forward, we have said, let us review the entire governance process. That's why the National Confab is an opportunity to call Nigerians in diaspora to support the National Confab. What is happening in Nigeria is not right. And so we, at the IJAW Youth Council, we monitor the activities of the National Confab week by week. And just when they discussed the resource control issue that raised controversy and they said they go to status quo, we have refused to accept that. We are consolidating with other ethnic nationalities, because the IJAW alone don't make up the Niger Delta. Others are also part of it, but you see, we are the Jesus Christ. You spill our blood, that's go one shop. So we are always ready to do that big brother role. So it's a call for Nigerians to support the process.
All right. We have Emeka on the line. We have a lot to come back to again. Emeka, thank you for joining us this afternoon. So where are you calling from, please?
Good afternoon. I'm calling from Manchester.
Welcome, sir. What is your contribution or question?
First of all, I want to say a good welcome to Comrade.
Thank you, sir.
And you see, Nigeria is a project that, whenever you think of, I love that country. It's my country. It's the only country I can stand up and declare that it's mine. But the problem we have in that country is unorganized sector. And this unorganized sector, it has been feeding on the wealth of that nation since independence. Watch out. Just think about, from independence period, people that came up to make that country to be one of the best in the, on this planet. They were all gone just like that. And okay, take for example, immediately after the war, that was when everything turned upside down. Why? Some group of people have tested, like the comrade rightly said, these are all criminals. They have tested power. And before you know it, they started declaring that they are born to rule. Let us don't forget, the majority of these criminals, they talked to, what's the name, the president, and said, we will make this country ungovernable for you. Let's keep that in our mind.
Okay.
And we all are watching. Look, let me tell you, the wicked will never go unpunished, and they will face the wrath of God. My heart is bleeding for that country. Look at what they are doing. This man that came to the leadership, his leadership touches every nook and cranny of that country. But look at what they are doing. Look at what they are doing. They will never go unpunished.
Emeka,
I said it.
Emeka, we're grateful. Thank you so much for calling and for your contribution. Now, in your response to some of the questions that have come so far, you made mention of the Senate not doing what they should be doing, the politicians preventing, benefits to the people in the agreements that were had by, the international communities, especially regarding the oil. Now, in this regard, where you've stated that they are virtually not doing things that are favoring the people, what do we do? What do we do with these politicians? What next for the senators? Because clearly things cannot remain the way they are.
Nigeria is too politicized. That's why everything, instead of looking at the interest of the nation, they are going political. For instance, they kidnap these girls. They have been terror in the northeast. Instead of them to support the president, to declare the state of emergency, they were playing politics with it, attaching one condition or the other. And yet, the opposition, who have always been on the jugular of the president, saw nothing wrong about it. We have talked about the PID developing the capacity of the people of the Niger Delta and other parts of the country. They are playing politics with it. For me and Nigeria, is that let us focus on the national confab that the president has magnanimously put in place. So say, let Nigerians come and decide. But look at it. Our parents who are in that place, some of them are truants, they don't even attend. Some go and be sleeping. So these are the first people who are going to be complaining. In any case, young people need to organize themselves. I talked about resource control. Look, we are talking about a situation where in the north, there is no food you eat in Nigeria that does not have 80% signature from the north. The onion in the food is from the north, the meat is from the north, the tomato is from the north, the pepper is from the north. In fact, even fish in recent times come from the north. What we are saying, if statistics are taken properly and that country is organized, the north will be 10 times richer than the south. Because all the food, you must eat.
Absolutely.
Now, what we are saying is, unbundle this system so that in the west, Lagos can grow faster than it should be. If you go to the east, the economy in the east should be growing faster than it should be. We cannot have a situation where we have about 4 ports in Nigeria. Only Lagos port is operating, and yet vessels are just hanging, waiting for space. Why not send those vessels to Port Harcourt, Calabar, and Lagos so that you can spur up the economy and make the country an interesting place to be? But politics at all divides will not allow us. For us in the Niger Delta, we no longer carry arms. I was Secretary General of the IJAW Youth Council and worked with the system at that time to achieve the amnesty that we have today. Mm-hmm. Today we have over 30,000 young people from that region being trained all over the world, because we believe that I don't believe in oil politics as resource control. I say no. Resource control should be about building your capacity to take advantage of your environment to create wealth. So if we have, look, the Niger Delta is the only place where you urinate and you germinate. That's how fertile our land is. But yet, We cannot even plant one lump of tomato. So our capacity must be grown to the point where we take advantage of agriculture, take advantage of flowing rivers. How many dams do we have? And yet the rivers are just flowing. A lot of sand in abundance. Why are we not making glass and all those things? For us, we are shifting. There's a paradigm shift in the Niger Delta. And that's why we commend Goodluck's administration for the federal government amnesty that was granted our people. Today, we have pilots trained in the history of Nigeria. This is the only program that have trained over 200 pilots.
Wow.
In the history of Nigeria. This is the only program that has engineers scattered around university. In the UK here, we have over 600 young people in various institutions. In America, just by Monday, I'll be going to US, with about 160 young people from the region going for training. We want to build our capacity. We want to add value to the society. We don't want to be carrying arms. We have said no more armed struggle. Our struggle must go intellectual. And in going intellectual is by building capacity. So if the government comes and begin to set the machinery to give you the opportunity to build your capacity, I think that young people must support that government. Universities are being created, commissioned. Every part of Nigeria has a university. So that we can build manpower in the country. Because if you develop a mind, you will understand bad from good and then do what is right. Okay. So my sister, what we are saying is that the national confab is the only opportunity that we have. Unfortunately, the way it is going, we as Niger Delta people are also mobilizing our people and reaching out to other ethnic nationalities that make up the Niger Delta region to come up with a strong position, just as the Westerners are insisting on regional government. We believe that regionalism will breed competition. So if I go to Lagos and drive on Lekki Road and pay 2,000 naira, I want to come to Niger Delta and build a final road so that you pay 20,000. Competition. If people are going to schools because the best schools are in Lagos, then we'll come and build the best in Yenagoa, for instance, so that West Africans will also come. Okay. So you see, you want to build competition.
I have IK on the line. Let's hear what IK has to say. Hello, IK. Good afternoon and welcome to the program.
Good afternoon, Priscilla. I want to especially thank you and the comrade for this beautiful conversation.
Okay.
First of all, I just want to ask a question. If we look at what is happening in the northwest of Nigeria, have we ever even asked who were those governors who have successfully ruled those countries for the last 20 years? I know that the whole state get the same allocation.
Yes.
So if Edo, Bayelsa has a lot of schools and children are at school, why are children in Adamawa, Yobe, and Borno, why are they not in school? Who were the governors who ruled those countries for the last 20 years? And nobody is even asking a question. Boko Haram started off. Boko Haram problem is a problem that Jonathan inherited. It started even in time of Obasanjo. What has the successful president do to address this evil monster? My heart grieves for those young children that have been adopted by these criminals.
Thank you.
Jonathan has done so much for Nigeria. Let no man crucify that man. What are they expecting him to do?
Thank you. Thank you, IK. We appreciate that. Comrade, we have 5 minutes to the end of the show. You know, he's asking the question there about other northern rulers that have ruled and no schools, and, you know, what the schools that are there now. If you can take that very quickly for me, sir.
Well, I wish that I will have an answer to that. For me, I don't have an answer. I don't even like mixing issues with things that happen in those areas. I believe that in your area, you must be able to be responsible when you are giving leadership to your people. Today, they are playing politics with these 200 girls that they kidnapped. All that is happening in the Northeast is politics of wanting to suppress Jonathan from contesting. We as IJAW people, we are buying the form for him to contest. So it's not even in his place to decide whether he will contest or not. He is contesting election.
Are you not taking his human rights?
But we have to, which one is human right? He's representing us. Because you see, Nigeria is a country where everybody looks at its own. For us, he's representing us. We fought for it. We will protect it. And we have said, you will contest the election. It is his constitutional right, my sister. To complete.
But it's for him to decide.
No. I said it's his constitutional right.
It is for him to decide if he wants to exercise that constitutional right.
He didn't go there by himself. People,
but he had
my
to,
sister,
he
people stood behind him and supported him to be there. People are standing with him. Nigerians are saying that he will complete the constitutional mandate. We are not saying that do something outside the constitutional mandate of 2 terms.
Okay. Now, because of our time, I have 1 minute, I'm told. You know, very quickly, we didn't quite touch on the subject matter of resource control.
Yeah.
Because I know that recently the representative, the National Youth Council representative, Ankyo Briggs, she made a request that let the IJAW people be able to control their own resource.
Yeah.
Now, IJAW is not the only part of the country that the oil flows from. So is this an advocation for the rest of the country, or is it strictly just for, you know, the IJAW people?
For further clarity,
please.
She went to that place to represent the people. She talked about her own people. She said Niger Delta people. I spoke here that the resource control is not about me. It's not about, if I were president, I would shut down the oil for 20 years. Because laziness has crept into young people in that region. People need to look at other means. Look at Lagos. Lagos is exploding every day. It's not about oil. It's about intellectual capacity. That's what I've been talking about. That's why I also said that the North have a lot of minerals that are untapped. They are criminally tapping them. We know that some of the fields are owned by these same troublemakers in Nigeria. But we are saying that let us go regional so that in the North, we can trade with food and make you a richer nation. If you come to the East, they are very good. In recent times, they are manufacturing vehicles. Good luck have just brought up auto policy. They have increased the tariff of imported cars into Nigeria to encourage local manufacturers. They are manufacturing vehicles. You see them, very good quality. So the more we talk about the issues, you see that the president has touched virtually every area. But the truth is, the resource we are talking about is about competition, breeding competition amongst all the nationalities that make up Nigeria. So that I made an example here. If I go to Lagos and drive on a road and pay money, I should be able to come and build a better road. If people are going to Lagos because they have best schools, I should come and build better schools and make my environment peaceful for people to come and habit. So the point is not about us and you, just as they are doing in the national confab. The Northerners think that it is between them and other parts of Nigeria. No, it's about you coming to the table with the issues that affect you, so that all of us can put heads together and come up with a framework that will ginger your environment for growth. The East, the North, the West, and the South. So that we can see ourselves, go to other countries. There is this competition. In Israel, it's all desert, but agriculture, they are doing very well. Look at Kwara and other places. Comrade,
we have an extension of time, and we also have Lawrence on the line from Italy. So let's hear what Lawrence has to say. Lawrence, welcome to the program, and what is your question, please? Lawrence, I'll be grateful if you can turn down the volume of your TV for me. Lawrence?
Thank you.
Please turn down the volume of your TV so that we can communicate.
Okay.
Lawrence?
Hello?
Yes, sir. Have you turned down the volume of your TV?
Yeah, it's turned down already. Can you hear me?
Yes,
Hello?
we can hear you now. Go ahead.
Hello?
Yes, go ahead. Talk to us through the telephone.
Hello?
Lawrence,
Hello.
I'm afraid I have to let you go. If you call, please speak through the telephone. It's fine. We can hear you. Lawrence, I have to let you go. Now, you know, I need to very quickly touch on this point. You made mention of amnesty. You made mention of the fact that, you know, the Niger Deltans, especially the IJAW youth, no longer carrying arms. However, recently, your previous president, indeed, you know, said he's ready. He's gone home and he's getting ready for war. I mean, is he going to go without the IJAW Youth Council, given that you're no longer carrying weapons, or how is this going to work? Should that moment arrive? You see, we are people that are very accommodating. However, you cannot push us to the wall. If you push us, we'll bounce back. The truth is, IJAW has his own opinion about issues, and he has a right to air his opinion. Indeed. But on behalf of the IJAW Youth Council, I am the president. I have said that we have changed focus. And our focus is about building our capacity so that we can bridge the gap. Let me tell you, we agitated for political and economic space in Nigeria. That's why we're agitating, for the avoidance of doubt. Now, during that process, by the divine grace of God, we got the president, which is political space. Now we have a vacuum for economic and educational capacity.
Now, once you have political space, you will be able to struggle to fill economic space.
Yeah.
Now, without capacity, you cannot fill economic space. So what we are, the race we are in today is to fill those two gaps that we have left to attain political space. So we want to, first of all, educate our people so that they have capacity and understand. We want to bridge the gap with the West. We don't want to even compare ourselves with London. We want to compare ourselves with West in Nigeria. We want to bridge that gap educationally, because once we do that, then economically we can fill the gap, and then it will flow. So for us, we will not make progress without an elite crowd, and that crowd must be educated and must be given the capacity. And so the amnesty program for us is one of the biggest achievements of this administration, because it has afforded us the opportunity to build our capacity beyond understanding. The IOCs used to say that we were unemployable. Today, we have the best from the best of universities. And so they don't have an excuse anymore. We have our people trained in Aberdeen, we have our people trained in the whole of UK, all the big schools in the US, all the best of institutions, our people are there. And then when this crop of people graduate back to Nigeria, you will see that the focus in the Niger Delta will change from the Anogri arrangement to what are you going to put on the table. People will now begin to sit on the table to look at issues logically and then move the nation beyond where it is.
Thank you. I have Ayo on the line. Hi, Ayo. Ayo is calling from Belgium, I understand.
Yeah, hello, good afternoon.
Afternoon, Ayo. Welcome to the program. What's your question or contribution, sir?
Yes. My first question is, to your gentleman, when he was saying that Jonathan must, he must, that is the problem we are facing, Priscilla. I remember some time ago, maybe 4 years ago, when as the governor of Rotimi Amishi, when he was on Ben television, and when he had the interview, I told him then that truly that Jonathan would become Nigerian president, but he should go and check himself first and other governor, because they are the terrorists of the nation. I challenged him then. Then Jonathan was not a governor. I told him then he should submit himself before Jonathan will become the Nigerian president. I speak under the option of God as a prophet. Okay, that is done. Now, but because of what this gentleman is saying, that Jonathan must, no. If God willing, Second, another point again that I want to touch quickly is what is going on today. We know that it's a grace. What could have happened 2015? It could have been a bloodshed in Nigeria. But for what is going on now, for the sake of the good Nigerians that will not allow Nigerians to depart in 2015, but some people must pay for it, but not because we want these small children to pay for it. But it has happened like this, that make now the region now to come together before 2015, that what could have happened could have been a negative, and it could have been totally damage to the whole Nigeria. But we bless God for what God is doing, that nobody even know that at all. Jonathan himself put his hand in where he did not supposed to put his hand. 2 years ago, January 2012, Priscilla, if you could remember, when the information minister, after he has spoken, I gave a word also after him that Jonathan needs to go away from those that call themselves pastors. But the more he comes close to them, the more he will go down. Priscilla, I have a lot to say, but for the sake of other people, I will just keep it for today again, for another day. So
Thank you.
For me, I take the correction. I say, well, yes, by the special grace of God. But I've just given you the manifesto of Goodluck. Goodluck already has presented a manifesto for Nigerians. A man who have done well in power, education, in transportation, in the economy, in sports, and everything. What else? If the Constitution has said he has rights to contest, we as a people are saying that Look, don't even chicken out with all the crisis that is going on. You will complete this term. Because all this crisis in Nigeria is that some people want the status quo to remain. And if those people want the status quo of evil to remain in Nigeria, I think that every sane Nigerian must wake up and say, no, this one will give us these things. We must allow him complete. We are not saying take beyond complete the term. If in 3 years, with all the security challenges, this president has been able to achieve all this, I think that well-meaning Nigerians should know that he will achieve a lot if he completes the normal constitutional term that he is entitled to. And then let me also tell you, as a people, we don't believe that we'll shed blood for 2015. All those doom forecasters, they are just wasting their time. It won't happen. Nigerians have common sense. It is on the principles of common sense that we will reach out to every ethnic nationality. We as the IJAW people, we are fronting that campaign. We will reach out to other ethnic nationalities and build bridges, make friends with the East, the West, the North, and it is on the strength of that friendship and unity that Goodluck will win that election. Nobody will shed blood. We will not. And I believe strongly that 2015 is a done deal.
I have Jim on the line. Jim is calling us from Germany.
Yeah, hello, my name is Jim.
Hi, Jim.
I just want to congratulate Diraz for coming to Ben Television.
Okay.
I'm very happy for what he's been saying. He's a man of the youth, taking care of the youth and being fair too. He's a very straightforward man. I love him.
Thank you.
And I like to say one or two things to him too. You know, there have been a lot of money allocated to him, also from everywhere, like I read. And what is he doing with this money? Helping the youth or flying everywhere abroad?
Okay.
So that is not the way of helping youth too. That is also a way of squandering our money in Nigeria. He can use that money to build a company in these rural areas to make good things for this area too. But he fly abroad, he do everything with it every time. So coming again to our economy, like Jonathan we are talking about, he need to build things for this country too, to our country Nigeria, so that most of us can go back and work in this area too, or not. I'm from Delta State like him too. So he can also do things there so that companies, we can go there to work. But these people, they work for the white people there. Everything there is allocated to white people. It's not allocated to black people there. Like what he himself is fighting on. If he's fighting of these allocations be allocated to black people, it will be good.
Okay.
All right. Thank you very much. Much appreciated.
Yeah.
Please.
Yeah, sorry, let me know. Usually the last speaker is actually misinformed. First of all, the IYC does not have allocation. We are a pressure group. We don't have allocation. Secondly, I'm an engineer by profession. Since 2006, I run my own company. I own dredgers. I just acquired a vessel doing business legitimately as a young man. I don't believe that youth activism should pay your bills. And so, since I was 30 years, I travel around the world. It's not even today. 30 years. I'm 38 years today. So, go back. Just check www.radmiservices.com. That's my company. I've been involved in dredging in recent times, going into oil and gas. So I'm a young man who believes that I should excel in my own profession and then come and add that value in youth activism. IYC does not have allocation, and I think that as a young man who went to the university, I believe strongly that exposure, traveling is the first form of exposure. You need to see how other people live in other parts of the world in order for you to imbibe it in you so that your followers will also understand how leadership in the world should be. So you are misinformed. Please get your facts right, and then you discover that, first of all, the IYC does not have funding.
I have 3 questions before we finally draw the curtain today. My first one is, you made mention of the fact that President Goodluck must run.
Yes.
The IJAW people are mandating that. However, what will happen if nobody votes for PDP? Because, the consensus is that people are not happy with PDP. So
which people are not? What is the proportion of people that are not happy? If you say people will not vote for PDP, then it means that you are saying that Nigerians don't have common sense. That's what you are saying.
No. My question is, if they will not vote?
The Nigerians have common sense. If 50 years, 20 years ago, you saw how embarrassing our airports were, and then in less than 2 years, somebody have transformed it. Don't you think that person has a lot to give to you tomorrow? If we didn't have institutions, and today Nigerians are abroad everywhere going to school, institutions are being commissioned here and there. Just last week, a Maritime University was commissioned, Maritime Universities and other schools everywhere. Is it not common sense that this one at least better pass the other one? If today power, go to Abuja and other places, people are now beginning to reap the gains of the revolution in the power sector.